everyone, this is Laurie Delk Radecki, and I'm coming to you once again with my little Laurie's lessons. And tonight I am going to give you some tips on networking. So many of you know that I ran networking groups here in Middle Tennessee every Thursday and Friday for 16 years. Each one was in a different city all around Middle Tennessee. They were incredible. Everybody loved them. And then a few years ago, I stepped away. I am starting them back up again in a different way and in a different fashion, but we do meet the first Tuesday night of every month at Cheddar's in Cool Springs and the second Wednesday for lunch at Cheddar's in Cool Springs. So if you follow me, if you want to come to those, please come out, network with us, talk with us. I always give free appetizers, so that's always a good thing. But anyway, so I'm going to go through some networking tips. So my first one is if you say you're going to come to an event, then show up. So people that run events are running them and they need the space. Sometimes if it's at a restaurant, we need head counts, for putting out the chairs. You don't want to have a bunch of chairs and then very few people, or you don't want to have not enough chairs. So lots of reasons. Just if you say you're going to come to an event, then show up. And if we get that things happen, obviously stuff comes up, right? And so if something comes up, text the host, let them know, just so they know, so they're not looking out for you and, whatever the excuses or whatever. But if you can show up, then show up. And also for any of your friends or clients that are having events, if you can show up, the same thing, try to show up. I have lots of friends that run networking events and do different events all through the week now, all the time. And if I can go, I try to go. I watch my grandson 4 days a week now. So there's a lot of events that I would normally go to that I can't go to now. And then, then I'm only with my husband a couple days a week. So I don't do other events normally on the days I'm with him either. So it just, so you got to figure out what works in your schedule also. So, but the next one is look for opportunities to use and promote your area of expertise. So the same thing, I speak at lots of events in lots of different places. When I was running my networking luncheons, I had speakers come into my events and do coachings and trainings for free to the people in my groups. It was great. It was like personal development on fire for people. And instead of just having one person talk about what they're selling, everybody had that opportunity, but they gave to the people that were in my group. And that's one of the things that made my group so popular is I had professional speakers that would come to my events and they would speak for me for free. And I go to other people's events and I get paid for lots of events for speaking, but I also do some events sometimes for free too, because you want to speak to your areas of expertise and help other people. And then be selective and definite about what you ask for from people. So, everybody knows when you go to an event, you have your 30 to 60-second elevator pitch, right? So in that, think about what you're asking from people. What are you going to tell them in that 30 to 60 seconds? And change it up. When I was doing these all the time, I would change it up every week. I had some index cards and I would write out different ways to say things and different things to say, and I would change them every single week. So it was never the same, because if you ever go to a networking event and people say the exact same thing every single time, then how many people tune them out? Right? Have you ever done that before? Think about that. And if you've done that to other people, then other people have probably done it to you. Where if you change it up, people are going to tune in. They're going to listen more because They're going to see and hear you say something different often. And then connect in small increments and be careful about being too familiar too quickly, right? You don't have to tell everybody everything about your whole life story, in 2 minutes. Now, I'm more open than most, and I'm probably more open than my husband prefers me to be. But still, you don't have to tell everybody everything in 2 minutes or whatever. So just be careful about how much you share. And if you go out to eat, use those meal times for networking. So like they say, I think it was Jim Rohn used to say, never eat alone. Right? So invite somebody to come eat with you and network with that person, build that relationship, right? It doesn't have to be because you're trying to get business. You can build the relationship. And if you build the relationships properly, then the business is automatically going to happen naturally. Or they might not ever need your product or service, but they'll refer you to other people. But use those meal times for networking. Meet people that you meet in those networking groups, and then meet them outside of the networking group for lunch or dinner or breakfast or coffee, because in that 30 to 60 seconds, you're not really getting to know that person anyway. So meet with them outside the group. And then get to know people first. Pay attention to what's important to them. Ask questions. Call it, discovery. Discover things about them. Ask different questions about their family. Ask them about, their occupation. Ask them about, things that they love to do relaxing. Ask them about, the money, if they're looking for more money, if they're looking for, different things. Get to know them. Just ask questions, ask open-ended questions, and listen and find out what's important to them. Get to know them. And then if you plan something with them, follow through if you promise to do something, right? So I tell people all the time, like, I'm at an event or something and someone will ask me for, to text them something or send them this video or send them this training or whatever. And I tell them, text me and I will do it, because I will forget if I'm speaking at an event and I tell someone, right? So I don't want to not do it if I tell them. So I will tell them to text me. So that way then it's not in front of me, and then I will do it when I'm in front of my phone or in front of my computer checking my texts. But if you promise to do something, make sure you do it. And that doesn't matter to who, whether it's to someone, a client, a customer, a prospect, and especially family, your spouse, your kids, your parents, your sisters, brothers, whoever. If you promise to do something, make sure you do it. Be ethical. And then use your phone to keep in touch and make it personal. This thing that you can actually talk on, remember that. So, um, texting is great. I love texting. But the phone, or even more so Zoom, where you see people's face, it just makes it more personal. Especially on Zoom, you see people's eyes. You get to see, like they say that the eyes are the windows to the soul. You get to actually see them. So that makes it even more personal. But if you can't do Zoom, then do the phone. But a lot of times, the texting is fast and easy. So you do that some also. So there's a time and a place for each thing, right? And then make time for networking, even when you are busy. So that's like where I'm at now. I'm in a different stage of my life, where before I remarried and all my kids were grown up and out of school and they were doing their own things. And at the time, my kid's dad had passed away. And so I was networking all the time, right? Every Thursday and Friday, 5 days, uh, every Thursday and Friday of every month. And then I would do like 4 to 5 hours of one-on-one coachings after that each week in those different cities. And so But now my schedule has changed. I have decided to be the caregiver for my grandson so he doesn't have to go to daycare. And then I've gotten remarried. And so I'm busy. My life has changed in a different way, but I still make time for networking, right? And then write written letters and send emails. So handwritten letters, I've done that for over 20 years. I've done it all my life. My grandmother taught me how to do that when I was like 5 years old. She would tell me if somebody gave something to you or did something for you, you are to thank them properly. So, and then the company that I've been with for over 20 years, I send handwritten letters that way, but also send emails. You can send emails out too sometimes. So some people do still read them. A lot of people don't, but some people do. But and then also the FaceTime is critical. People will help you if they know you. So everybody's got somebody in their life that you could say, "Hey, I really need this." And if it's in their power, they will do it for you, right? So everybody has some people that are like that in their life. But the thing is, the more you build relationships, the more people will do that. I have a bunch of people that if I called them up or asked them, "Hey, I really need this." They would help me out if they possibly could, right? And so when you have that FaceTime with people, especially in person, that is even the best, right? But the same thing, we all have different lifestyles and different places, but I still try to meet with people in person and have that FaceTime with, some of my girlfriends and different business people. You want to still have that some. And then do better than your best in all your work. Honest, ethical, you know, do your absolute best, right? Better than your best. Do as best as you possibly can. And then another one is use your expertise to help others. So I've had so many times of people telling me, "Thank you for helping me." And because I did it for no money, I did it just because to help them or whatever, right? You want to do that. Everybody has different gifts and talents. Use those things to help other people. Now you can still charge for things because, you're if that's what you do for a living, right? Like I do some coaching for a living and I charge for things, but I help people all the time for free, lots and lots of times. And so you have to make that balance, but you want to use your expertise to help other people. And then refer other people to other people. Like I have in my phone, if you're in my phone, I've got your name, I've got your address, I've got your phone number, I've got your email, and I've got where I met you at and what you do for a living, right? So that way, when I hear about somebody that says, "Hey, I need blank," I can go on my phone and I can do a search and I'm going to come up with all kinds of contacts for that person. And then I can share those contacts with that person and I can say, I've used their service or I haven't, but I think that they're a good person or whatever. But you can refer out those people, right? Especially when you build your network and connect and build relationships with other people. And then the last thing is build your network before you need it, right? You'll probably need it one day. And, they used to say the bigger your Rolodex, the bigger your network. And now we don't have Rolodexes anymore. We have it all right here in our hand, but it's nice and convenient. But make sure you keep track. Put your people in your phone, put information about them in your phone. And that way you can search, like I said, in your phone and you can find out any information. So I always try to make these short and sweet. So hopefully that was helpful for you. If you have any questions, you can post them right below this video or reach out to me, ask me any questions. Let me know other things that you need help with or you would like me to train on. I would love to hear those stories as well. And subscribe to me on YouTube as well as on your favorite podcast Write me a 5-star review if you think this was helpful, or share it with a friend. And I'll see you next time. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night.